Welcome into another episode of Who Should You Choose, episode 40 for NHL 24. Bit of a milestone. And speaking of milestones, it's my birthday. So, wish me happy birthday. But more importantly, we've got questions to answer, just like we always do. We're going to go through the prior videos, questions and comments, and help you with your hut lineup decisions. It's the Team Builder edition. Now, this video came out right before Team Builders did, so I'm assuming we're not going to get a ton of Team Builder questions. But nonetheless, yeah, we'll probably discuss it anyways. So, let's get into today's question, and we'll start first with Vez, who says, I made team builders, Arnott and Robinson, and made an extra 90 team builders. So my question is, should I keep Madonna as my second line center and build Salo to play my first D pair to replace a coin, or keep a coin and build Nash as my first line right-handed winger? McDavid, X Factor 93 overall, would replace Madonna as my second line center. Also, would you build to play on my second D pair between Thompson, MSP 90 overall, or Rasmus Anderson's X Factor? Could be good for long term since he has the Evo card. Is Anderson's now I can't remember. Does Anderson's X Factor or does his team fantasy card have Send It? Okay, I think it's his fantasy card that has Send It, which is just so bad. My God. And his X Factor has his X Factor is actually pretty nasty. I didn't realize he got Silver Truculence. Interesting there. Okay, so let's take a look here. I made I made the team builders, Arnott and Robinson, so you've got those two. And I made an extra 90 team builder. So my question is, should I keep Madonna as my second line center and build Salo? This is so hard, because I think Madonna is the best of the 90s. It's really not close. Like, I think that his card is just so good. If you have McDavid's X Factor, is he replacing? Where is he in your lineup if he would replace Madonna as your second line center? That's what I'm not really too sure on. I'll be honest with you. Play like 5 or 10 games and then go and look at how often you carry the puck with a coin. If you go to the game stats and go all the way to the right, you'll see puck possession time with each individual player. It only saves in game. It does not save, so you can't see it afterwards. And take a look at how often you carry with a coin. If it's not very much, then no, go with the player that's going to be more impactful. If you carry the puck a ton with them, then I would probably get Salo. In terms of the defenseman, yeah, I would go with Rasmus Anderson. I didn't realize his card is actually kind of nasty. Yo, Sleeves, couple of questions, but first to give you some context, I'm a Div 1 player, and I get about 15 wins in champs each week. Weird flex. My top 6 has all the Team of the Year guys. Gretzky and Mario as well as the new team builder Nash. My bottom 6 has a new Arnott. You got to put Arnott in your top 6. All-Star Game Solani as well as 90 Madonna. Wow, your Capital One card is obliterated. How is my fourth line? 90 Bedard, Hughes. I have Team of the Year Knight and Ferravari on my bench. My question is it worth the trade in 90 Regeer and Madonna for one of the defensemen? I already have All-Star Game Chara and both Team of the Year men. X Factor Doughty, Tage as well. I mean, yes, dude. Like, Madonna is probably not high enough in your lineup, and you have cards that are far better than Salo. I'd probably go Robinson. Madonna, Ferravari was good enough. Teravainen's very good. His endurance is a little rough, but like they're gonna play so low. If one of the defensemen is good enough to make my top 6, I feel like I can't. You can't take out Doughty or Chara. Or the Team of the Year. So Robinson, we're replacing Hedman. The issue is like Robinson needs like to be far better than Hedman. You probably want to put on. No, I would do that. Robinson's the answer. All right, teammate says, "What's up, Sleeve? So I got a Red Wings themed team. Do you think it would be better to downgrade my power up icon Chelios and use him to make Goalie and make the All-Star Chelios? Sure, you only get up to 92. I only play squad battles, so it won't matter. What would you do?" Second question. I only ask because I don't see it asked. What event objectives having multiple event cards on your team to play? With event objectives having multiple cards on your team to play 280 games, it destroys my team and knocks down the fun factor. How do you feel about it? It's a very lame way to do things. Again, the structure in which events and how this game works fundamentally can't really change until they spend an entire year on Hockey Ultimate Team. And it's funny because like the joke is always that Hut gets all the love. It really doesn't, because if you think about it, Hockey Ultimate Team has legitimately not changed fundamentally. I'm talking about rivals, squad battles, champs, repeat for 5 years. Like the fact that that's just glazed over is mind-boggling to me. It's something that I argue and just continue to hammer home in the Game Junior chat for the last 3 years. And until we see a massive fundamental change in whether it's, like programs or the way that content is delivered. I thought Objectives 2.0 was great. And for anyone who doesn't know what Objectives 2.0 is, it's the new objectives that track like individual cards getting goals, things like that. They don't take advantage of it. The new content team is just, I don't like harping on. I used to have an office job. I don't like harping on people that have a job to do. It's just very frustrating that the HUT mode team, so the people that design stuff for the mode, they put it out in the wild at launch, and it's up to the live team to utilize it. The moments has been very lame. Whether it be from awards and things like that. Then you've got objectives, and then we're right back to just play a bunch of games with these cards. Like, no, we don't want that. Like, it's what we had for years. It sucks. In terms of what All-Star game you should do, probably keep the power-up icon, Shelio. So slowly work to... just buy Gordie Howe. If you save your coins and stuff and sell tradables, you can get Gordie Howe in 3 weeks. Like, I'll be honest with you, it's under 300,000 coins, and you'd be stunned at how many coins you get every week. I would just, especially if you play HUT champs, because squad battles, because everything's tradable. I would keep the power-up icon Chelios because he will keep upgrading every month. Hey, Slaves, if I have a tradable bonk from a value perspective, would you try and sell and pick up 2 Team of the Year cards? Is that feasible with the cost of Team of the Year players? This is so hard because progression is so slow this year. And if you think back to last year, Team of the Year cards, like, they went like a month, sometimes like 6 weeks without an upgrade. And I don't trust this content team more than the last one. I'll be honest with you. So, like, when are we going to see it depends what 2. Like, if you don't have any, I would rather have McKinnon and McDavid than Radek Bonk, or Oliver Bonk, if I'm showing my age. That would be yes, but I don't think anyone's doing that trade. So then it's like Heiskin and a Makar for Bonk, I guess, but there's way more avenues. Honestly, I would keep Oliver Bonk, because, like, your advantage now for the next 3.5, 4 months before we see 99s is just so much higher than everyone else's. And I know Bonk's endurance is crap, but a lot of their cards are crap endurance. So, Lousy says, hey, Sleeps, I traded in Madonna and a coin, my only 2 90s, for Jason Arnott. My righties left are Doughty's X Factor, Jones. Question is, do I make Seabrook, already using my power-ups for Doughty and Hedman and Gord, or do I keep Myers for the time being my third pair? Myers for the time being on your third pair. He's fine. Your third pair just doesn't see the ice. Messier or Sakic, I finally got the captain stuff. Messier is still on my team. I think Sakic was really good, but there's just... Messier has just silver quick draw on him, 99 faceoffs, bottom, you could have him on your 4th line forever. Love your videos. I got All-Star Jake Ottinger tradable. Should I keep or sell? That is a hell of a way to spell Ottinger. My man, you sounded that out, and I respect it. Ottenjer. That is wild. Anyways, play with him, and if you find that he's no different than any other goaltender, sell him. Hey, Sleeves, thanks for all you do. No problem, man. When is a good time to move on from a card? Just having a hard time knowing when to switch it up, especially when to move on from MSPs that I upgraded. This one's tough. I think that the best way to tell is when a card is on your... If you are going to replace a card that is going to be on your 4th line or your 3rd pair defense pairing, and the replacement is going to be at minimum on your 2nd line, sometimes 1st, that's when I would pull the trigger. Not a content question, but do you like the Sharks' new 3rd jerseys? I'm a pretty big fan. Sharks rarely disappoint. Appreciate everything you do. Oh, man, they were so close. I've been a Sharks fan for the last 21 years now. And in my opinion, they have one of the coolest jerseys, logos in the sport. The shark biting this, it's very hockey. It's a mean looking crest. The color scheme now, like I didn't like the full teal homes. I still think they should have black pants. They're growing on me a little bit, especially with but the away jerseys. I think are some of the best in the NHL. I think if you rank away jerseys for me personally, I think the Toronto Maple Leafs have the best away jersey in the NHL. Their blue shiny leaf logo just looks so crisp. And then the Sharks, I love the black font with the teal around it is very unique in that sense, and I just think it looks really crisp, especially with the teal helmets now. I think the best all-time Sharks jersey is it's a tie. One is the alumni one, like the one where they did the 2D font with the darker teal, a little bit of silver in it. It's my Couture jersey down here. The other one is the Dan Boyle era full shark logo. Non-shark fans don't realize this, but it's their best logo. It's the full shark. So if you look at the Sharks logo, it like you can't see its fin, like the tail fin. On the blacks from 2008 till I think like 2012, their alternates had like the fin that went behind and it made it look 3D. If they would have done the font, the coloring, the style, and then the shoulder patches were the crest that they're using for the thirds, 10 out of 10 jersey. I just think that the crest that they used was a perfect shoulder patch and center ice logo. I think it's one of the best shoulder patches in the league with the fin. I just think the reason why I don't think I like it on the crest is because it's so blank. Like if you look at it, there's a lot of blank like white area. Maybe if it was centered a little bit more, I don't know. It just that part didn't rub me the right way. But everything else about it, I love. I think it's really, really mean looking. So, hey, Sleeves, I have 400,000 coins that I'm looking to spend. I have a pretty good team with 4 Team of the Years, 99.66. Are there any good players that I should get and put the coins toward, or should I put coins towards team builders? It is towards team builders. Like this release was kind of meh. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why either. I don't know if it's because we got like Team of the Year, for example. Like those cards are just so up and above, and it's an issue that they deal with every year because now like the next events come out and like you're not nearly as excited about those cards. There's some other options like Austin Matthews Team of the Week card would be sick. I would love to have the coins to go get that. But Team of the Year cards, the reason why I like it putting coins into them is just because they're fantastic. They're all great. Whether this was exciting or not. But you can turn them into a higher rated card. So it's like, if you were to buy Team of the Year, Team of the Week Matthews, for example, his value only goes down. It only goes down. Whereas Team of the Year, Team Builder cards will always have value. I need my Patrice center card. Surely we get one as an MSP this year. Bergeron, I think, retired too late. So how this works, guys, is this is like one thing you can't blame EA on. If a player does not sign into the Alumni Association, then they don't have the rights, right? That's why when you look in the icon cards of the NHLPA logo, so they don't sign in. So like Hasek, for example, they pester him, they reach out to his agent, all of that, and finally he signed, right? It's the reason why Bure's not in the game and Cavallier's not in the game. Like those guys need to actually sign the agreement to be able to use their rights. But when a player retires, there's this weird window where like the game is made in the summer and it's like shipped, ready to ship in August, and then they work on the day zero patch. So if he's not signed in there in the summertime, and obviously he retired at the end of the season, then they can't use him. I'm thinking back to like Chara last year. I think when he retired, or 2 years ago now, he couldn't get in the game that 1 year. Bergeron, same thing. I bet you we see. God, he's probably a power-up icon, a team builder, a MSP. Like, next year will be all Bergeron, I can guarantee you that. Gretzky or X-Factor Jack Hughes for second-line right wing. Already have McDavid on the top-line right wing. If you can activate wheels, probably Hughes. If you can't, I like Gretzky. Thoughts on the Stadium Series jerseys? God, pretty polarizing. Stadium Series jerseys are always weird because they're not a normal jersey because they're so big. Their logo is massive. Same with the numbering. It's one of the worst Shark jerseys of all time, but that's because they do it on purpose because they're playing outside and you have to be able to see them, right? Like I'll be at the game. I'll be at the stadium, both Stadium Series games this year, which I'm excited for. Last year was my first time seeing one in Carolina and Raleigh. Unbelievable experience. For anyone that lives in Raleigh, you guys are like underrated fan base. Good Lord. It was amazing, but MetLife, like, you're so far up, like, you're not gonna be able to see. You can't tell anyone, right? So that's why they always look a little weird. I think the Rangers, it's very hard to do. It's very hard to do a unique original six jersey. I think it was cool, like the NYR. I think that, like, fine. I'm not big on lettering. I think the crest. The Rangers are the only team that I'm okay with the lettering on. Any other team, stop it. Like, I can't stand when they do just words and stuff. It's hockey. Hockey is the one sport where the crest matters the most in terms of the jersey. If you think back, you think of all the other sports, it's like this. It's not the focal point, right? It's not the focal point of the uniform. And I'm hard on the Devils because the New Jersey Devils have the coolest color scheme. Red and black is the easiest to get right. And I don't know if they're stuck in the Lou Lamoriello era, but as you can see with the Islanders, he is sign up on jerseys. And the Devils have had the lamest, not lamest, it's been done. Like, give us a black Devils jersey, right? Like, make it mean, mess with the logo a little bit. And I think that they did that. Like, maybe if they reversed it and went black and then the logo is red, but I love the fact that it's not the circle. It's not the circle. It's just the actual NJ, and it's big. And I think that's it. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the Devils at all. I really can't stand them. But that jersey is their best, in my opinion. I legitimately think it should be their homes. The Flyers, God, dude, I think they on purpose make their jerseys ugly because it's like Philly, gritty, Broad Street, all of that. Like, Philly jerseys will forever be, let's just throw nameplates and patches and then colors or like another thing on top. It's just stitching on stitching. I hate the Flyers logo. And making red and orange look good is very difficult to do unless you're some sort of tiger like the Bengals. And then the Islanders literally said, hey, you know what? Let's go take a look at the worst Oiler jerseys ever made, the orange and blue with no piping. And then it's like, oh, then let's also copy the Nashville jerseys where it just says like Nash on it or whatever. I feel bad for Islanders fans. They always get so crushed by these kinds of events and like cool things. Like the reverse retros dude, the first year reverse retros, the Islanders, like, that was the most Lou Lamoriello thing ever. Then they finally were like, PR is finally, I don't know what happened in that meeting room, but they're like, we're doing the Fisherman Lou, or you're retiring. We're kicking you out. I don't know. Like, I don't know how that happened, but it's tough. It's tough. I'd love to see something, a mix of the Fisherman logo and the Islander, like something new, but yeah. G'day, slaves. Any decent third-line left-handed forwards you recommend? That can be an MSP or to purchase. I was wondering if X Factor Hurdle is worth keeping and upgrading. No, because his X Factor's terrible. Like, Big Rig is just not good. His fantasy card's slowly becoming relevant, but also the path for 99 has 99 everything, including endurance. This will be a good thing to keep in mind. Yeah, so the 99, you're talking about like the Makar and the Bedard, they'll have 99 everything. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't keep, in terms of third line forwards, I'm wondering, I haven't looked, but take a look at that Yager from the Nations of Hockey event. Go and see if he fell in price to like 150K-ish. Hey, man, who was your favorite 90 overall team builder? Planning on making 293s and keeping 190 in recommendation. The most impactful is probably Madonna. There's no way around it, but there's so many forwards, especially with Team of the Year. So, again, it depends if you have Team of the Year cards. Honestly, the one that I like a coin, was just so good. He was a lot like Breezewa, where you didn't expect it, and he just ended up being like Steady Eddie. Just so good. So good. Hey, slaves, after hearing you talk about it, I decided to give MLB a try. I love it. So much so that I can't play NHL anymore. It's such a bad representation of hockey as to where the show is almost perfect. EA needs to stop making NHL games and they need to step up. I'm not going to go in a big rant about MLB because I got some comments from you guys that like, hey, we don't want to talk about MLB yet. Totally understand. Like I said, at the fundamental core of what a sports video game should be is the game should make you want to go and watch in person or on TV the real thing. And MLB is one of the only sports games where you can play the game and you don't have to love the sport, right? Like, it turns fans into, like, I know there's tons of you guys out there that will play MLB because NHL dies and it just comes out at a perfect time. And you have no interest in MLB. But the video game is done so well that you, like, end up really enjoying it. and then you maybe have an interest in like the real thing. The NHL video game is the complete opposite. If you are not a hockey fan, you are not playing this game. The only reason you play this game is because you are a diehard hockey fan. Like, not like I'm the very generalized viewpoint. I'm sure there's people out there that are like, I never watched hockey, I gave it a shot and whatever. But I would say 99%. I'm pretty confident in that statement, and that's just a big reason why. Hey, Slaves, hope you're doing well. I'm trying to make an all-female team, and I already have Hillary Knight and Team of the Year Jenny. Do you think there will be more female cards released in the future? This is a big issue with them going from the 5-day release to the 3-day release. Again, I don't think that going back to the 5-day release would fix anything. But one of the things that is hammered on is that before, they would just release like thousands of cards. As someone who has a HUT database website and had to add all these cards into my site, there was just so many pointless cards. They would just add them for the sake of them adding in. However, when it comes to like theme teams and stuff like that, they would at least be very low overall cards that you could at least throw in, right? The females this year, they backed themselves into such a corner with the female releases last year, because they kind of made, there were so many because it was the first year, that they dialed it back this year to the point where it's like almost we don't receive any. And same with the European cards. My God, like if you're a European player and you're watching my content, how many cards have you guys gotten? I get it's the NHL video game. I don't really get excited for European cards. I gloss over them, and I just don't follow the leagues, right? Like I love like the OHL, so I'll always take a look at the OHL cards because I've seen these players in real life. So it's much like that, right? Like I don't expect you guys to like the OHL. But yeah, the female cards, it's every once in a while they'll release like 5 like those next gen cards, but it's gonna be awfully tough. Hey Slaves, Fantasy Tavo or Team of the Year Knight? With the new patch, I'm worried the endurance of Tavo. Him and Knight are the same size. Not sure what to do. Knight's Team of the Year card's really nice. It is. I will say this, though. I bumped Tavo when he came in 92 up to my second line left-handed winger, and I thought his endurance would be a big issue. He's fast and scores. I've got Sniper Forward and Shooting Boost on him. He just scores a lot. I think that whoever you enjoy more as a player to watch in real life would be who I would take. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Who Should You Choose? Again, if you want your question answered, just be sure to subscribe with notifications on. And if I don't get to your question in this episode, be sure to come check me out live on Twitch. I try to go live every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I always live in the afternoon at some point. So thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.